Now let's get into all the things that had me like WTF, because the streets have definitely been a raging as they always are. Let's start with the viral video that's been all everywhere. Like, wow, 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 about the Maryland police officer. Y'all know what I'm talking about? Maryland police officer was caught. That's why we live in this phone, social media age. Everybody put it to, pull out their phone. You never know when you're being videotaped. So just always just be alert, especially if you're doing some fishy activity or if you're up to no good. Maryland police officer was seen in a viral video. He looked like he was bending down to kiss somebody. And after it looked like the police officer was kissing somebody, they proceeded to go in the back seat of a police cruiser. And the door was closed. In the video I seen, they didn't just go back there with the doors open, just chat. You can be left to your imagination because the police officer went in the back seat with the individual and closed the door. What are y'all doing in the back seat? I'm sure it was not official police business. I'm sure of it. I would bet money on it. After this video went viral, the police department announced that it was launching an investigation. Now it looked like this man could possibly lose his job because what were you doing, sir? What were you up to? And if you was doing what we all think you was doing, was it that much of a need where you couldn't wait until you got off? Like, seriously, you have to do it right then and there? We might have to do an update on this topic because from what I've seen, it looks like the police officer's wife has spoken out. So we might have to do an update and like double back on that. But WTF, sir. The one thing that Texas is doing right, we have to give them credit for this. Texas House Bill 393 went into effect. And this bill will require convicted drunk drivers to pay child support if they kill a child's parent or guardian. The law says offenders will be expected to make those payments until the child is 18 or until they graduate from high school. Clap it up for that, and shame on anybody who drunk drives. There are too many different ride-sharing apps and platforms out here to be out here drunk driving. The one thing that Texas is doing right, kudos to them. Here's another update, or here's an update on a past WTF moment. I really be trying to leave Antonio Brown alone because it seems like he has a lot that's going on with him. So like, why even kick someone, when they're down? It's better to just kind of give them grace. But this was like, what? We talked about Antonio Brown on the previous episode during a WTF segment because reports came out he had a National Arena League team, and reports came out that his team, which is the Albany Empire, was kicked out of this league because Antonio Brown or the team was missing payments. It wasn't just one payment, they missed quite a few payments, so they were kicked out of the league. New reports are coming out that Antonio Brown allegedly threatened players on his team with a gun. Sir, I mean, honestly, seriously, WTF. I am Derrick Rose. Derrick Rose is me. Derrick Rose went to the Drake concert and was playing chess on his phone the entire time. I seen the video. He was as comfortable as he could be, laid back in his chair, just like playing chess. Like, why even go to the concert? And why even stay if you're not even that interested, if you're playing chess? I mean, that made me cackle. That made me cackle. WTF, Derrick Rose, WTF. New York police made an announcement right before Labor Day that they were going to be using drones to monitor backyard parties. That has to be some type of illegal. It just gotta be, it gotta be like a safety, like a privacy thing. You're gonna spy on people using drones, because that's essentially what you're doing. Ain't no monitor, ain't no like for the safety of like other, like we're not buying that. You're using drones to spy on people because of, to say that you're trying to monitor backyard parties. Okay, if you say so. Let's get into what's been going on with these airlines, with these flights. Another viral story. A flight from Atlanta to Barcelona was forced to turn around after a passenger had diarrhea, quote, all the way through the plane. Now, when a lot of people seen the quote of all the way through the plane, we was like, what do you mean all the way through the plane? Do you mean like through the duration of the flight they had diarrhea? Like, what do you exactly mean? We found out what they meant when we saw the video. I saw the video, at least, when literally through the aisle from the back of the plane to the front of the plane, it was like tight, like towels, like paper, napkins on the ground, because literally the person had diarrhea, an accident up and down the aisles. I could not imagine being on a plane and somebody just like almost like running down the aisle having diarrhea. Like, the pilot says a biohazard issue. That's an understatement. It's beyond a biohazard issue. Like, that's absolutely disgusting. And I hope that that person saw immediate medical attention, because clearly something is going on there. You need to go get checked out. Seriously. More airline stuff, like what's going on with these airlines, WTF? Air Canada apologized to two passengers who were escorted off a plane after being told they had to sit in seats that someone had previously vomited in during a previous flight. Now, the people didn't want to sit in these seats because the airline said that they cleaned the seats, but they were not cleaned well, to the point where the passengers seen that it's been vomit here. So you're going to escort these people off the plane because they didn't want to sit in vomit seats, and all the airline did was apologize. I'm going to need more than an apology. I'm going to need free flights for life. You're going to have to give me like an Air Canada pass, because no, that's another biohazard safety issue. And last but not least, with the WTF topics, why not end it off on a ridiculous note? Because this is right here is ridiculous. A Florida man is now facing Fed charges because he was attempting to float across the Atlantic Ocean in a human-sized hamster wheel. WT and the F. And from what I read, this is not the man's first time attempting something like this, apparently. Sir, WTF. I mean, honestly.